Good morning, good morning. So, I was tagged or asked if I would tag, that sort of thing, by a good buddy of mine, John June, if I would sort of do my experience from when I started sort of to now of perhaps what I can put across to maybe a new person, a new shaver who's thinking about dipping their toe into the, let's say, traditional wet shaving line. My last video I did a recreation of my first shave and what I used. This is sort of, I suppose, 2 years now, maybe nearly 2 years I've been traditionally wet shaving, of what perhaps I would have liked to have known, because when I did it I didn't know anything. I went into the shop. I used one of these for years. Before that a Mac 3, before that an XL, and you know, shaving was a chore, and the heads on these are ridiculously expensive. I probably was getting 3 shaves out of one for my beard type. It's quite wiry, and then chucking it, and they're like, I don't know, 15 quid for 4, something like that now. And I still use this because I use it for shaving the neck, or you know, a little trim up now and again. So nothing wrong with a cart razor, just for me, just the way it was. So let's start. This is going to get ridiculously long. So razors, I'm sure you can, you know, if you all started, if you punt a razor into D razor, you'll get a myriad of razors come up. What do you choose? Well, if you don't want to mess with the blade so much, this is a Wilkinson Classic. They're about 15 quid, not really dear. You get a little pack of 5 Wilkinson saw blades, twist to open. Then you just drop the blade in, close it, and then away you go, you know, when you're ready. So very easy. Like I say, you twist to open, drop the blade in. And then there's another type. This is the one we're going to be using, Gillette King C. These are 13 or 14 quid. Comes with a pack of blades. It's a 3-piece razor. Twist the handle. Open it. You got your top cap, base plate, safety razor, that's a safety bar, and your handle. You can do it like that. Depends how confident you are with handling a razor blade. You can do it like that. You can put a towel in your hand and put that onto the towel. Put your razor on. Drop your top cap on. Sorry, that was a bit off camera. And then just screw the handle on. You don't have to horse these down. Just cinch it up a little bit. Then your razor will be in there. Comes with these, which are Gillette King C. That's the name of the razor. They're readily available in supermarkets over here. That comes wrapped. Open the plastic, get the razor by the end, and there it is. That's your razor. Put that back down safely out the way for now. Now, the cream of choice, Parasso Blue. Parasso, this is about 6 quid a tube. It'll last you ages. It's a cream, great stuff. Again, all these things work for me. People's beards are so subjective, but this is a really good one. Aloe vera, great stuff. Pre-shave. I never had a pre-shave when I started. Do you need a pre-shave to get a good shave? Not necessarily. I like a pre-shave for me personally, so again, it's a personal preference. This again is pre and post Parasso Blue. Lovely stuff, really isn't that expensive. Just sort of prepares the beard whiskers. Bowl. I have this bowl for me. Again, any bowl will do. Or if you don't want to use the bowl, you can face lather, squeeze it into the brush, work it round, no problem. This is an Omega brush, it's synthetic. I'd go for synthetic. I don't use any type of animal fur or whiskers in my brushes, just a personal choice. I prefer synthetic, very easy to use. Connaught shaving, I'm not affiliated to Connaught shaving, but it's just one I looked at. You can get an Omega brush for £6 off a Connaught shaving. Blade, again, blade choice, there's a myriad. If you put D blade, that's quite a good blade for me. It's a mediocre blade. Again, Connaught shaving, you can get a sampler pack later down the line. But for just starting and you want to dip your toe in. Now the brush I'm going to use is this. It's a Simpson Trafalgar T2. 24 millimeters here. Great little brush. That's £20. I'm soaking it. The thing is about synthetic brushes, you don't have to soak them. And again, and this is something else. I use alum stick. Alum. If you put alum. I mean, this is a French one, but alum stick, if you put that in, it's an astringent. Anyway, what it is like an antiseptic. It's a crystal that comes out of the ground. Any micro nicks, any nicks you get, if you do get, it'll give you feedback on your shave. If it's stinging a little bit in areas, you may have gone too much against the grain or a bit rough. It takes care of all that. For me personally, some people can't do alum, some can, but it's a godsend for me. I didn't have that when I started, and to be fair, the first shave I ever done, I did get nicks. I didn't cut my face to ribbons, but you know, the odd little nick here and there. So what else? Well, that's about it for now. So what we'll do is let's get into the actual shave part of it. So this, I apologise if this goes on a bit, because so here I've got the soap or the cream I'm going to put into the bowl. There, that's quite a lot, to be honest. I over squeeze that. I prefer to have too much than not enough. I've got a little bit of water in the sink. Flick off the brush twice, then I'll go into the bowl and just start turning. Another thing is what they say, beard mapping. What they say about beard mapping. So everybody's face is different. Beard mapping is which way does your growth go, because we're doing a multi-pass shave, so you're not going to try and get it all off in one go with a razor. And I'm just turning this one way and the other. So if you let your beard grow out, if you can, maybe over a weekend or something like that, and just see which way the growth goes. Now for me, on my face it goes from down. Round here it goes a little bit this way, but generally down. On my neck here, it sort of goes that way, but I can get away with shaving down. On the bottom of my neck it grows up that way, so if I stroke against it, I can feel the grain. That way I can feel it smoother. Why is that important? Well, if during the shave you find you come away with irritation, there can be a couple of reasons, but I'm just going to dip the tips in the sink, get a bit of water, add it to this. If you do get irritation, it may be that your first pass, one part of your neck, because generally, again, everybody's growth is different. Perhaps on your first pass you've hit the grain against it, which is not not necessarily a good thing. It can cause redness or irritation, but if you know which way your beard grows, like you've let it grow out maybe on a Friday, if you need to shave every day just for a weekend, for a few, a couple of days, just to find out which way your beard grows, and that way with your first pass you can try and minimise the chance of irritation by shaving with the grain. On the neck it's a tricky thing. Some people have spirals. You just sort of got to do the best you can, and understanding which is good for your which way your beard grows. Okay, and there we are, we've got a nice lather. The consistency of the lather, here's another thing. Some people like them pasty, some people like them wetter. I prefer a bit of a wetter lather. I think it gives me a better glide or slickness. But again, so all I do is just keep dipping the tips until I get the consistency I want in the lather. Now, this may go on a bit, this video, and again I apologise, but I'm going from start to finish now. Because I'm chit-chatting and showing and everything else, it could go on a bit. But generally you can get in, do this within sort of 10 minutes, not a problem, maybe even less. If you do a face lather, so you put the stuff in the cream in the brush and then take it to your face and lather it around. I don't, but you can. And there you go, there I have needs a little bit more water for me personally. Again, what you can do if you desire is, before you do this, put your pre-shave on. I don't. Right, but you can put the pre-shave on, let it do its work. And there you go, there's the lather. So peaky sort of, that'll do. Put that on there. Okay, I'm gonna wet the whiskers. Don't forget to load your blade. Put a bit of pre-shave on. So yeah, these are the things that if I was going to suggest to someone who wants to start traditionally, if you want to call it that, wet shaving, or he's sick of the high prices of cartridges, or you're getting bumps and lumps on your face. One thing I forgot to mention, with your synthetic brush, if you do soak it, don't do it in red hot water. It'll damage the bristles. Warm water. I'm a warmish water shaver, or I'm even a cold water shaver. I'm not a stinking hot water shaver, because again, it's all about your face type, what your face will tolerate, and your face will tell you what you can tolerate. I find I get more chance of bumps if it's red hot water, so I don't do it. So there we are. Now, dry hands is a must when you're handling a razor. Where did I put the blade? God, I'm in a mess already. Where did I put the blade? There. Again, so I'm going to unwrap the blade carefully. I'm going to take the razor. Again, this is a bit of a cheaper. If you go and watch John's video, he uses a wonderful Henson razor, which is a much more closed affair. So for me, this is how I put it in, but again, you can put it on a towel, you can rest it on your hand. It's how you feel comfortable in holding the razor. I've got no problem with doing it like that. I'll put the base plate on. And me personally, I'll screw the handle on like that. I'm holding it end to end. Again, no need to cinch that blade down, and then I'll just give it a little cinch up. I'll check the blade reveal, just make sure everything looks good, and it does. On this particular razor there's a touch of overhang to be aware of, not much so. In other words, the side of the blades just stick out slightly. Not a problem for me. Then we're going to lather in the face. I could have actually put some more moisture in that. Again, everybody's face is different, so what soap, razor, but in general rule of thumb, I haven't used a blade yet that's not worked for me. So again, I'm just painting it on. Again, that's a little bit dry for me. I prefer a wetter lather. Empty that sink. This is just a personal thing. Thumb across the lips, you don't have to do that. I just tidy up my neck. Again, it's nothing you have to do. More my OCD kicking in. I just flick a bit off my ears. Again, that's just a personal thing, you know. You like to see things straight and tidy. And here we go. So there's the razor. Blades in it, no problem. On the face, the ultimate is to have the safety bar and the top cap just touching your face. People say 30 degrees, but you know, it's just the feel. Again, one thing you don't do is push. You know, you'll hear people say no pressure. Of course there's a little bit of pressure, but the more the pressure is you're just letting the razor do the work. So as it goes on your face, tilt it. See there, it's not cutting at all. I've just turned it until it starts to cut. I've just inflated my cheek a little bit. And again, the stroke. A stroke is a personal thing. Some people will take small strokes like this. Some people will take longer strokes like this. When you first start, don't shave, don't go over where there's no cream. As you get used to it, you'll know how slick the cream is and how much you can get away with it. But when you first start, don't do that. You'll encourage irritation. Okay, so again, this side, I'll put it on, just start, there you go. A light touch again. So a nice light touch on the face, not pushing the razor into yourself. Halfway down my neck. Turn the razor over. Rinse off under the nose, up onto the nose, scoop and down. Again, with this razor, there is some overhang to be aware of, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So again, with my beard growth, This is with the grain up my neck. Now your mileage may vary, you may be able to just go straight down, no problem. And again, when you first start, you might, the one thing is, if you feel any tugging, pulling, or any type of it's pulling hairs, if you've got a duff blade or your angle is incorrect, you shouldn't feel anything as you go down the face. You could just feel it doing that. So make sure you've got soap on your face as a beginner. Sorry, as a new shaver, not a beginner. I'm sure most of you have been shaving for years. So again, back to the brush, 2 passes. Now, again, if you tap on Google or Amazon or eBay, you'll get a myriad of razors come up. But I would say for me, this is a personal thing. They are the 2 razors that I know work, and I'm pretty sure they'd work for anybody. The blade is nice. Wilkinson saw blade is nice. It's a sort of mediocre sort of blade. It's smooth. The Gillette is again smooth, mediocre. No moisture, so if you get soap on the handle of the razor, just give it a wipe. You don't want to have slippy fingers. This has got a bit of knurling on, which works okay for me. See, I've got my little pinky on the bottom of it. Second pass, I'm going to go across the grain, generally. So mostly this is across the grain. And again, get the angle. The stretching for me is how I inflate my cheek or move my head slightly. So I'm sort of stretching the skin. With a safety razor, the safety bar stretches as well for you. Now you don't have to go across the grain at all. You could go with the grain again, if you so desired. No problem. So again, I'll blow my top lip out. I'm mindful there of the overhang because it's not razor sharp, but it still would. If you dug it into your snout or somewhere or your ear. And then underneath for me, I go directly up. For most dudes, the sensitive parts of the neck, around the mouth and the moustache area. Now, second pass done. I'm going to be honest, I could do a couple of touch-ups now, a little bit there, a little bit here. I could walk away at that, not a problem. And that would be a good shave, no problem. A socially acceptable shave that will last you till tomorrow. But I want to go the full biscuit. So I'm going to go on to the third and final pass. Now generally, this will be the one where you have to, let's say, be more careful because you're going against the grain. This is the one where you just need to be mindful of your technique and your pressure and your angle. Now why do I do this? I'll tell you why, because shaving was a chore for me, it always has been. You know, it's one of those, oh God, you've got to shave again. For me, it's actually become a bit of an enjoyment. It might sound odd, but I tell you, I look forward to a little bit of zen time, a little bit of me time, just chilling out, trying to get a nice shave, nice decent shave. I mean, like I said, don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with cartridge razors. If you use a cartridge razor, no problem. But also you can do the same with a cartridge razor. You know, if you've ever, I used to get irritation here and there and think, well, it's one of them things. I probably now, on hindsight, realise it was where I was shaving into the grain, so I was taking whiskers off, so you could still apply the same the same theory. You could use the nice soaps. I mean, like I say, that Parasso is £6 a tube. So let's go against the grain. Here, for me, it's across the neck like this, nice and light. I don't know if you can hear that, but again, I've gone over that again because I know I can get away with it. You may not be able to, you may be able to, but you can always apply a bit more soap and then do it again. This soap is plenty slick enough, and the residual slickness. And there you go, neck done. And for the face, again, the angle, you can even ride the cap a little bit if you want to start. Being aware of the overhang. Again, the razor John used doesn't have any overhang, it's totally enclosed, so if you hit your ear, you're not going to, with the corner. Again, the cheeks are pretty easy, no pressure. Again, I put my lip into my mouth and it just tightens this bottom bit of chin up. I mean, you can push on your chin like that if you want to, however you want to stretch. You need to reapply the lather because it's dried a bit, do that, don't go in there. Let's do that now just to show. So if it dried out a bit, re-lather. Again, I blow my lip out, and this is a place where you need to be gentle. There are a lot of shavers that don't do that. They'll go out that way, back that way, and maybe out that way again. They don't go against the grain. Again, just been aware of the overhang. Okay. 3-pass shave, rinse off. There you go. Cold water rinse for me now. Dab up down here with a towel. I grab my alum block. This is just a personal thing. Some people can't take alum straight up. Wet it, make sure your face is still wet. Glide the alum across your face. Any little micro nicks, weepers, cuts. If you've nipped yourself, maybe you've got a little nip there, just put the alum on, leave it for a few seconds, take it off, and it'll help to seal the cut. If you get any stinging, it means maybe your angle wasn't quite off, or you've hit that beard at where you've tried to go against the grain on the first hit or something like that, or on your last hit you're a little bit too much pressure or a little bit of the wrong angle. So what you should feel is, how can I explain it? A little bit of bracing, I would call it, because it's sort of tightening the skin. I don't think it is tightening the skin, but it feels like it is. Any stinging or zinging, it means that particular area, maybe you just got a little bit too close or your angle was off, but all I've got is bracing. Perfect. Now what I'll do is leave that on and then just clean up my stuff. So I'm just washing the bowl out. Again, if you're using your brush to wash your bowl out, like you're putting your brush in your bowl, don't do it in red hot water, because you'll damage the bristles on a synthetic brush. Now, to clean the brush off, I'll just go like that, get the soap out, and again, not in red hot water. Then I'll put the brush in the bottom of the sink. Again, it's synthetic, and I'll just twirl it around the bottom of the sink, and I'll squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. I put the brush facing, the bristles facing upwards, so the water's running down through the bristles. All the time the alum is doing its work. Then I'll flick the brush off. And there you go, nice, ready for the next roll. Then with the razor, I'll give it a quick rinse under the water. Now I'm comfortable doing this. If you're not, put your hand in there, put the razor on the top, and then twist it till the blade comes undone. Then it's all encapsulated in a towel. You're not going to cut your fingers. Me, I'm comfortable with this. I'll undo it like that. I'll then put the handle down. I'll then grip the edges, because again, be careful, but again, I'm comfortable in doing this. Yeah, then I'll take the blade slightly off the pins, drop the razor head into the sink. No, but I've got the razor in my fingers, head's in there. I'll give this a little rinse. Longevity of the blades, again, it will depend on your beard, your circumstances. So I'm giving the razor a rinse in the towel. Give that a nice little off, not the blade, this is the base plate. Yeah, put that down. The head, or the top cap, sorry. Give that a nice little clean off. The handle, all the time the lovely alum is working its magic. Bowl, and like I say, this is, you know, I'm chit-chatting, which I'm rubbish at chit-chatting and doing stuff at the same time. I struggle. Bowl, nice. Again, you can use bowl, mug, anything you want. Face lather, anything you want. But you know, I've got one of these because I like them. That's the bowl done. Brush, now that you could leave it to air dry. I mean, I've got a little stand. You can buy a razor stand. You could tie a bit of string around there and hang it off of something. You could leave it up, but the water tends to say you're better off trying to go like that if you can. But leave it hanging like that. Brush stands are cheap. Again, if you put that into Google, Amazon, eBay, you'll get a myriad. They're all roughly the same, they just hold the brush like that in the stand. So that's nice and dry. The blade. Me personally, I know people have stick-on magnets they put up in their bathroom somewhere and just put the razor on it, leave it to air dry. Obviously informing other occupants of the house that you've left the razor blade in there, but I personally just get a bit of paper and I wipe the blade off. Again, I'm pretty comfortable around the blade. And there you go, that's me done. That blade is nice and dry. I'll then put it back in the paper like that. Then I'll get some sort of marker or pen and I'll put one dot on there to say I've used it once. People have dice systems, all sorts, but for me, I just put a little dot in the corner with a pen and I've used that blade once. Normally for me, I might get two, maybe three max out of a blade and then bin it, whether it's good or bad. Blades are, I mean, I think £6 something for a pack of 100 blades you can get certain blades for. Again, blade is such a preferential thing. For me, I've never had a particularly bad one. The only bad one I had, I think, was the actual blade itself. I was given one, tried it and it was a bit rough. Personally, I think it was the blade. I've used loads of blades and to be fair, I've never had any issues. I know people say difference is difference, but again, Connaught Shaving, if you go on there, you can buy a sampler and you'll get 5 blades, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different types of blade. You can buy a Gillette sampler, you can buy a sampler with, I don't know, Derbies, Astras, and then work out which one works for you. So we're done, we're clean, we're tidy, everything's dry, except for that. Okay, dry that off. Now what I would, some people leave it alum on, I don't. I rinse it off, cold water. Again, you don't need to use alum. I like to, and it works for me. It's what I found works for me. Again, some people dab, some people wipe with the grain and then with the grain, whatever's comfortable for you. My friend IMCDB says it's your shave, do it your way. That's crucial. This is just so you sort of get an idea of what I didn't have was most of this. I just had the razor, the cream, a crappy brush, and I did cut myself. No, I didn't. No YouTube or anything. I went as it like I was using a cartridge which you put pressure on. So I put pressure on, and I nicked myself plenty. Didn't have alum, so I just had toilet paper like my dad used to when he come out the bathroom when I was a nipper. Bits of toilet paper over my face to stop it. With the alum, you can put the alum on, and it, like I said, it will heal up any nicks. Now, for afters or my routine. Again, you don't have to do this, but it's what I found works for me and gives my face a great feel. I use Thayer's witch hazel. Jesus Christ, get it straight, that's it. I use Thayer's witch hazel. You can get witch hazel from pharmacies, boots, offline. You can get witch hazel and tea tree oil. Humphrey's witch hazel. This is the one I've got. What I do, squirt a bit into my mitt and then apply it. And you read up about the benefits of witch hazel. Now maybe you can't use witch hazel, maybe you can't use alum. I'm not saying you need to. This is just what I like. So if I've got any redness, the alum, if I've got some irritation, the alum will deal with that. If I've got any redness, the witch hazel, and again it's I can't remember the words, but it helps with like small cuts. It's got like an antiseptic property, and it's great stuff. That one's cucumber. You can get unscented, you can get melon, there's all sorts. That's wonderful. Now I'll show you a wonderful shave. 3 passes. You don't have to do 3. You can do 2 if you're good at 2. You can do 1 if you're good at 1. Go. Again, it's down to how your face takes it. And when you start, the first few times, you may find your face feels a bit, I don't know, different. It has to get used to this way of shaving. Same way as you did, I'm sure. You can't remember that far back. At least I can't, because I'm old. When you started shaving in the first place, your face has to get used to what you're using. If you progress onto a straight razor, Chevette, whatever, your face has to get used to that way of shaving. Doesn't take long for me, really. Okay, look at that, shave's done. Now, like I said, if it weren't for the chit chat, I'd be done 10 minutes. You get done in 10 minutes if I'm not on this. Now, this I use as a moisturiser. You imagine you're scraping cold steel across your chops. You're taking all the goodness off your chops with the soaps or everything else you're using, because that's the idea. So the soap prepares the whiskers and it takes away the again, I can't tell you what to use as a post-shave ritual because your face is different to mine. It's something you'll have to work out, but these things work for me and they work for me well. That is what I use. I also use this, which is that, and they all work for me. But again, have you got greasy skin, have you got dry skin, all those things you have to take into account. But for me, this leaves a wonderful soothed chops. Now I can put it up here. I don't break out. If you break out, don't put your moisturiser up here, or you're going to look like a teenager with a spotty forehead. I don't. I can. I've got a pretty normal skin, so it doesn't get too greasy. This stuff soaks in wonderfully. Let that dry in, and then use the splash of your choice. If you choose to use a splash, a cologne, PAA Star Jelly, whatever, and we're done. Yeah, I know it's gone on a bit, and like I say, you can get the ritual down to, and it is for me a ritual that I enjoy, and I never used to. Now, one thing I will say is, if you do fall down the rabbit hole, and I don't mean to be rude to anybody, but think hard about your budget, because you can go and get hooked on hooked on wet shaving. That sounds really odd, but you can spend a bucket load of money on it. So just, if you feel like you want to splash out and buy some stuff, I've shown you a proper budget shave here. I don't think all of that together would have come to £25–30, and you've got a starter kit that will last you weeks and weeks and weeks. The razor will last you, if you look after it, years. And again, if you prefer this style of razor because you don't like fiddling around with 3-piece, all you got to do is drop the blade in there, close it. Wilkinson Saw Classic. Again, that's peanuts. So this has just been left on the side, so it's air dry. This is a 3-piece razor, which you have to mess around with a little bit more, but not too much. It's not, like I say, use a towel if you're not happy. I'm pretty confident around the blades. and we're done. That's it, and wonderful. So thanks, John. Hope that was all right, and that was sort of what you meant. And I'll catch you all soon. Cheers.